the Oregon coast is just a world of its own. Sometimes the tide is low and the waves are soft, and it's just nice and quiet and peaceful. Then you come back later on, the same day even, and the tides come in, the waves have gone up, the wind's kicked up, the rocks look like they're just protruding up out of the ocean. It's just a marvelous place to be. I'm Denny Dyke, and I draw on the beaches in Oregon. And I consider Bandon my home beach. Man's always been enthralled with circles and spirals. It's something in our nature, and I think that's what really drew me to it. I started drawing the classical labyrinth, the Cretan, because it's the simplest. The Cretan labyrinth goes back to at least 2000 BC. It's found on all 7 continents. And then I went into the Baltic wheel, which is just a variation of it. The cathedral labyrinths, as they're called, came about in about 1200 AD. There's a lot of different variations out there. So I drew one that had 7 spirals in it. And when I connected them all, the very last path I took around the entire field. And that's where I came up with Dream Field. People come up and they use the word amazing all the time, but it's not a maze. A maze has dead ends, wrong turns, and you struggle to reach the goal. The point of the labyrinth is to enjoy the journey. All you have to do is follow the path and you will get there. The reactions of people walking one of my labyrinths never ceases to amaze me. The children, they don't question, they just enjoy. I've had kids take off on the labyrinth in a full run, but sometimes after they'll see that the older people are walking slower, they'll go back and walk. Some adults are very tentative. They'll start off real hesitant. By the time they get halfway through, they've relaxed, they've settled in, and they've just lightened their load. When you're inside the labyrinth, the rest of the world goes away. The peacefulness, the quietness, the lack of distraction. And hopefully after you're done walking, you can take it back out in the world and walk in a little more peace. Everybody thinks sand is sand. That's not true. It's harder at different times of the year. It's different in the morning than in the evening. You can tell by walking on it. And so one of the first things I do is I'll walk the whole section that I want to draw in, see where it's damp and where it's dry, feel how hard it is, where it softens up. And then I just kind of go to the center, and when I'm ready, it takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to draw one. If there's anything on the beach when I get there, I work around it and I incorporate it. The more rocks, the better. The sound of the ocean's there all the time for me. The sound of my staff running through the sand. Oh, what a sound. It's amazing how loud it can get. After the first line is drawn, everything else just kind of goes on autopilot. And every now and then, something goes wrong. So I just got to take a deep breath.
Let's see.
You correct it on the fly.
Okay, let's take this one to this one.
And carry on.
That's it. Labyrinth done, except for the grooming.
I have Labyrinth groomers that actually come down, volunteers.
You want to help too? Okay. Let's grab a couple rakes.
I draw it out with my staff, but I have my groomers go over my staff mark with the rakes.
See how it's roughed up now? Okay, and then you just continue through here. Beautiful. We got us another Labyrinth groomer.
So it's a combined art form. It's them and me. Why do I do it? First of all, I do it for me. The sensation I get in that hour or two that I'm drawing, you can't replace it with anything. To see a blank piece of sand, take my staff to it, and leave my mark. And then it becomes more in that as people come.
You want to walk my labyrinth? One path. No dead ends, no wrong turns.
Wow, did we do it? Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
I guess my main hope for anybody that walks one of my sand labyrinths is to have them enjoy the experience. Forget about their other obligations, their other concerns. The rhythm, the movement, that peacefulness has an effect on the physical body. Anytime you can go inward and lose that other distraction, you're helping your mental health. The ocean will reclaim it, and I have no problem with that. Sometimes it comes up gently and just kind of dissolves the sand and the grooming away. Other times it comes up and takes a whole big bite out of it. But you want to see it. You want to see the ocean come in and reclaim its own. It's one thing to be on the Oregon coast, but to combine that with the sacredness and the spirituality of a labyrinth, I think that's what I'm after.